What is up, guys? It is time to continue the AFC West predictions. We're predicting every single team in the NFL and their record for the 2020 season. We completed the entire NFC. We're working on the AFC. We just started the AFC with the Denver Broncos. We predicted that in the last video. Make sure to check that out. And today, you know what time it is. KC Chiefs. We're predicting the Chiefs record, the reigning Super Bowl champs. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate if I have the Chiefs go on a bad record. And honestly, you know how these videos work. Before we start predicting game by game their wins and losses, we got to talk about what the Chiefs did in the offseason. Honestly, they didn't do too much. And do you blame them? Of course not. The Chiefs just won the Super Bowl. Why would they change a lot of stuff? One of the things they did, they franchise tagged Chris Jones. It's a pretty smart option. He's one of their better players on defense. They re-signed DeMarcus Robinson to a one-year contract. Pretty smart because the Chiefs obviously had a really strong wide receiver core led by Sammy Watkins and Tyreek Hill in 2019. So why change the receivers? And if DeMarcus Robinson maybe doesn't have the best year in 2020, they can always just get rid of him because it's a one-year deal. The only risk, though, with the wide receiver core, Sammy Watkins is $21 million hit on the cap space, which is kind of a big hit. But their wide receiver core definitely is going to be fast, like usual. What else did they do? So first round of the NFL draft, they drafted Clyde Hilaire from LSU. Honestly, that's a really good pick from the Chiefs. And there were so many star running backs in this draft, but there was so much other first-round talent that, top 10 picks in 2021 draft became late first-round picks. And the Chiefs were smart about it. They realized they had the 32nd overall pick. So what did they do? They decided, okay, we might not get one of the best other position players, but there's going to be a ton of elite running backs on the board still. The Chiefs didn't have the best running back room in 2019 either, and they still were able to win the Super Bowl. So by upgrading the running back room, which used to be Damian Williams and LaShawn McCoy probably won't be a Chief in 2020. So they went out, they picked their guy. They chose Clyde Hilaire from LSU. There was a lot of good running backs in that draft, so I can't see them going wrong with this guy from LSU. And the Chiefs definitely are going to be elite again in 2020. Their defense is a little questionable, but when you can score 60 points a game on offense, I think they'll be fine. And their defense does have some really big-name players. They got Frank Clark, Chris Jones, and obviously the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. So they definitely aren't lacking on defense, but they're not going to be top 5 in the league, of course, on defense. So let's get right into it. Let's predict the Kansas City Chiefs record for 2020. Week 1, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl reigning MVPs, are playing the Houston Texans. Houston Texans. Texans fans, honestly, are probably going to be pretty upset about how their whole entire offseason went down. Whereas Chiefs, they're coming off their Super Bowl high. Chiefs, number 1 team in the league, playing the Texans, who they didn't do too great in 2019. And they just lost a really big, important player on their team. Obviously, Kansas City Chiefs win this game. Chiefs start off 1-0. Week 2, Chiefs have a divisional matchup against the Los Angeles Chargers. This is a new-look team. Is Tyrod Taylor starting Week 2? Is Justin Herbert starting Week 2? Personally, I hope Justin Herbert starting Week 2. I think Justin Herbert can definitely develop into a really strong player for the Chargers. The Chargers' offensive line is horrible. Frank Clark going to have a big game here. Same with Chris Jones. I think the Chiefs are definitely going to beat the Chargers up. The Chargers have Desmond King on defense. Who else? Nobody even knows. I couldn't name one other player on that entire defense, honestly, besides Joey Bosa. The Chiefs definitely going to get the huge win right here. 65-0. Chiefs 2-0. Next up, the Chiefs play the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. This is what I like to see. Big matchups. I like to see this on the Chiefs' schedule. I don't want the Chiefs to be 16-0. Just because I give the Chiefs a good record doesn't mean I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm an Eagles fan. The Chiefs play the Ravens in Baltimore, and boy, this is going to be a good game. I know the Chiefs and Ravens played each other last year in 2019. Let's see who the winner of that game was. The Chiefs won this game early in 2019 season. They won 33-28, and the Chiefs were 3-0 at that point, and the Ravens were 2-1 after that loss. So the Chiefs barely beat them in Kansas City Arrowhead. And, the Ravens would have been able to play the Chiefs, maybe make it to the Super Bowl if they didn't choke to the Tennessee Titans. So Ravens definitely going to be hungry right here. This should have been the AFC matchup. We all know it. And the Ravens, I think the Ravens, they get the win. It's in Baltimore. I think Lamar Jackson's going to have a really good season this year. I think this is going to be like his best year of his career. He's definitely poised to have that. I don't think defenses have like defense can they can say the teams can be like, we have Lamar Jackson figured out. No, you don't. He's still the MVP. Come on now. So yeah, MVP versus Super Bowl MVP. I think Lamar Jackson has the advantage here. It's in Baltimore. Chiefs narrowly won in Arrowhead last season. I think the Ravens are more of an improved roster overall. I think Ravens get the win. Chiefs start off 2-1. Next up, Chiefs play the Patriots. This should have been the AFC. I'm kidding. No way the Patriots should even be in the playoffs last year. The Chiefs definitely get the win right here. Tom Brady's gone. It's going to be Pat Mahomes versus Randy Newton at quarterback. It could be Jarrett Stidham or it could be Cam Newton. Nobody really knows what's going on with the Patriots quarterback. I definitely think the Chiefs get the win here and go 3-1. This is their revenge game. They're not going to be happy about losing to the Ravens week 3. Week 5, it looks like the Chiefs have another divisional game. They play the Las Vegas Raiders. This game is in Arrowhead. They don't get to travel to Las Vegas just yet. I don't know what's going on with John Gruden. I mean, why is Marcus Mariota even on that team? I don't know. I think the Raiders kind of made a mistake drafting Henry Ruggs too. It's definitely a home run pick. Like, they're swinging for the fences. But imagine if Henry Ruggs isn't going to be great. Like, Henry Ruggs definitely has the speed, but does he have the receiving ability? I think Jerry Jeudy maybe would have been a better fit for the Raiders. I think that the Raiders are going to get a good safety back with Jonathan Abram coming back from injury. I don't think it's enough to stop this dynamic Chiefs team. I could be singing a lot of praise to the Chiefs defense right now, but who cares? Tyreek Hill, Pat Mahomes, that's all you need to hear. This is the first time I've even saying Travis Kelce's name in this video. Chiefs get the win, 4-1. It's what's expected. Next up, Chiefs have another hard game. This is really their only hard game since the Ravens game right here. This game is in Buffalo, and I like this matchup. So me and Daniel, the other member of this channel, both have different opinions on this topic. Are the Buffalo Bills, in a place where they can be the king of the AFC in 2020? I think the Bills can. We got Josh Allen, Devin Singletary, Cole Beasley, John Brown, Stephon Diggs, stacked offense right there. And on defense, we got Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, and Tre'Davious White. I think that the Bills' offense and defense, both top 10 in the league on both categories. I think the Bills are poised, especially with the AFC East not being that strong this year. Bills are definitely going to win the AFC East, but I'm talking about, can the Bills contend with great teams? And I think they can. I think that what week is this? This is week 6. I think Chiefs lose to the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. The only factor in this game is whether or not Josh Allen looks like a deer in the headlights. And I think that this year Josh Allen is going to improve the most he has in his career. And I hope, just for the whole entire franchise for the Bills, I hope that Josh Allen gets his act together against stronger teams in really big games. Sometimes he falls apart in bigger moments. But I think that right here, the Bills get the upset against the Chiefs in Buffalo. It's going to be a big win for the Bills. Going to be a tough loss for the Chiefs, but they're 4-2 still at this point. Another tough game, and what sucks for the Chiefs, all 3 of these hard games in their schedule so far have been away. This game comes to the Denver Broncos. It's the divisional matchup, obviously, and it's in Denver. The Broncos are a whole new look team. What is Drew Lock, though? Is Drew Lock going to be a good quarterback? He's going to have to develop this year. This is definitely a lot of pressure on Drew Lock in 2020, but he definitely has the pieces surrounding him. The Broncos have one of the best running back cores in the league, Melvin Gordon, Philip Lindsay, 2 really good running backs. Both of them could be starters for different teams. And the Broncos honestly have one of the best receiving cores too. I think that Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler are going to be great NFL players. I think KJ Hamler is definitely a sleeper for fantasy. And obviously you got Cortland Sutton to headline that receiving core, you could say. But the Chiefs are tired of losing to teams that are almost as good as them. The Chiefs already fell to the Ravens and Bills. I don't think they're going to go 0-3 to these 3 contenders. I think the Chiefs get the win here against the Broncos. This is going to be a big win for this team. It's going to prove that they're still elite. And the Chiefs improve their record to 5-2. The next couple games, come on now. They just had a couple tough games. Now they got some easy games. Chiefs play the New York Jets. This game's in Kansas City. The Jets are going in the wrong direction. I think Le'Veon Bell is not happy about where he is in terms of what team. Jamal Adams, obviously, I don't know, dude. The Jets better be careful. I think they should trade him because I think eventually they might have to Antonio Brown that situation where they have to cut him and get nothing in return. So I think that the New York Jets definitely are not going to win this game. Sam Darnold, he could be a good quarterback, but I think that New York might not be the best destination for him, so rip. Chiefs become 6-2, and they're looking good. Next up, they play what I think is going to be the worst team in the league, second worst team in the league, the Carolina Panthers. Panthers honestly have they don't have a bad offense. They have like a mid-tier offense, honestly. They would have a better offense if their offensive line was great. But the Panthers just aren't going to be great this year because of their defense. I think the Panthers are going to have one of the worst defenses in the league. The first 7 rounds in the draft, they were all defense for the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers definitely going to have a young defensive core, and it's not going to be good at all. Chiefs, honestly, this is the game where I'm not even joking. They'll score 60 points. Like, I'm not even joking. And Chiefs improve clearly, and their new record is 7-2. Next up, they play the Las Vegas Raiders. Second matchup against the Raiders. This game is in Las Vegas. Chiefs go to Las Vegas for the first time. Guess what? Chiefs, I don't even... How do I say this? The Raiders, come on now. You're not going to beat the Chiefs once the whole entire season. Chiefs get the win here, and they improve to 8-2. Next up, they play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This game is in Tampa Bay, which is a huge advantage for the Buccaneers. If it wasn't Arrowhead, I wouldn't give them a chance. Now, I think the Chiefs have a better offense than the Buccaneers. I think the Chiefs have a better defense than the Buccaneers. But I give this win to the Buccaneers. Let me tell you why. The Chiefs just had a 4-game win streak where they beat 4 teams. But the Buccaneers at this point in the schedule are also on a 4-game win streak where they beat the Giants, Saints, Panthers, and Rams. Both teams are going to be on a 4-game win streak. And I think that the Buccaneers are going to get the win right here. I think that this is going to be an upset of a game. I don't know why. I just think it's Tom Brady, and I think Tom Brady is going to pull some magic off, beat the Chiefs. It's really not going to matter that much for the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't think, in terms of divisional seeding. So I do think that the Chiefs lose right here, and they are 8-3. Next up, they play the Denver Broncos, and if you disagree with that last pick, I can see you disagreeing with them losing to the Buccaneers, but I have them sweeping the Denver Broncos in 2020. So I definitely think that the Broncos could pull off an upset, especially in Denver in the earlier part of the season. But I'm giving the Chiefs the sweep of the Denver Broncos. I just think that the Broncos are definitely heading in the right direction. And I predicted them last time. I think that the Broncos are going to make the playoffs. But I don't think that they're good enough right now to contend with the Chiefs. I could see them upsetting, but I'm giving the Chiefs the sweep of the Broncos, and I'm giving them the loss to the Buccaneers. So, mix and match, whatever you want. I think they're going 2-1 in those 3 games. And Chiefs are now 9-3. Next up, they play the Dolphins. This game is in Miami. It's not going to matter. Dolphins are heading in the right direction as well, but they're not even close to where the Broncos are. I think the Broncos are way ahead of the Dolphins in terms of upgrading their team. Dolphins are heading in the right direction, but it won't matter. Pat Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, easy win right here in Miami, 10-3. Next up, they play the New Orleans Saints. I could see the Chiefs winning this game, but it's in the Metrodome. And I think this will be a really close game, but I think Drew Brees comes out on top. I think the Saints and Chiefs both have comparable offenses. Honestly, I'm a bigger fan of the Saints offense because I think it's more consistent, and I think it'll be healthier at this point in the season. You saw what happened last year when Tyreek Hill went down. Obviously, Sammy Watkins stepped up, but if the Chiefs have an injury at this point in the season, it's GG. Saints have Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, best trio on offense in the league. I think the Saints get the win here, and the Chiefs are 10-4. Chiefs 10-4, looking to get some seeding in terms of conference. They play the Falcons and Chargers to end the season. Atlanta Falcons, this game is in Kansas City. Falcons are going to be a decent team, but they lost so many players on their whole entire roster. The Falcons, I think, had one of the worst off seasons. They lost Desmond Trufant, Devontae Freeman, Austin Hooper. The Falcons don't stand a chance here. Chiefs get the win. Final game of the season, the Chiefs play the Los Angeles Chargers again. Chiefs already swept the Raiders. Chiefs are about to sweep the Chargers as well. This game is going to be a big win for the Chiefs because the Chiefs improved their record to 12-4, and the Chiefs were 12-4 go check out what I predicted for the Denver Broncos. Obviously, a lot of Broncos fans are hyped for this season. See if the Broncos are going to be good enough to beat the Chiefs in terms of divisional. Next up, we have the Las Vegas Raiders is next up on the predictions. Then the Chargers. So 2 not-so-great teams. You already know how I feel about them. So if you're a Raiders or Chargers fan, get ready because, Thanks for watching. Subscribe. There we go.